Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video on the Gooners and Gloves Podcast channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and reactions to Ethan Nwaneri officially extending his Arsenal contract. Finally, Arsenal have made it official. To be fair, this has been known for quite a while now through the likes of Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, etc. But I don't like to make a video until Arsenal themselves make it official, and as of today, Arsenal have made it official that Ethan Nwaneri has signed his contract. Obviously, absolutely fantastic news for Arsenal fans. I'm over the moon. Obviously, Ethan Nwaneri is a generational talent, a fantastic player, and to see him commit his long-term future to us is absolutely brilliant. Really happy. It's actually the third extension of the window so far. Both Gabriel and Miles Lewis-Skelly signed 5-year contract extensions, and now Ethan Nwaneri has also followed suit and extended his contract. So obviously, I'm so happy. Obviously, Ethan Nwaneri is a fantastic player, a generational talent, and it feels so good that another Hayland Academy graduate has decided to commit his long-term future to Arsenal. Obviously, there were some talks about Chelsea potentially getting him. I personally didn't give them any attention. I knew that he'd extend his contract. I had no doubt that Ethan Nwaneri would be staying, but obviously I know that some people were really thinking that Chelsea may potentially get Ethan Nwaneri, but to me, I had absolutely no doubt that Ethan Nwaneri loves Arsenal. He loves the project, he loves the team, and therefore I had no doubt that he would extend, and he's done exactly that. He's committed his long-term future to Arsenal. So yeah, obviously this is amazing news for Arsenal. Brilliant, obviously, to have another extension, especially Gabriel and Lewis-Skelly, which themselves were equally important extensions, but it's great to have Ethan Nwaneri over the line. So as expected, as we've been seeing in preseason, Arsenal very much view Ethan Nwaneri as an attacking 8 and as an understudy to Martin Odegaard. Of course, there were some talks that maybe he could carry on in the right wing position after obviously taking over from Saka last season in Saka's absence, but it's very clear that him being a right wing last season was very much it was very much out of necessity. It wasn't something that Arsenal were necessarily looking to do, but it's something that ultimately out of necessity they needed cover for Saka, and so they gave it to Ethan Nwaneri. And to be fair, Ethan Nwaneri did well at right wing. I thought he played quite well, but it's very clear that Ethan Nwaneri prefers the attacking 8, prefers the midfield, so therefore Arsenal have happily accommodated that, and therefore signed, of course, Noni Madueke to cover for Saka in the right wing. But it's very clear that Ethan Nwaneri is very much viewed as an understudy to Martin Odegaard, and obviously the future of the attacking 8. And obviously we've seen him in pre-season in the attacking 8. One of the games he came off the bench, the other one he actually started, and again, he's looking so good. He looks so good in that attacking 8 position, really threatening, just so good, very creative, very threatening, always getting forward, always putting in really good passes, and that's exactly what we need. And we saw last season multiple times that Ethan Nwaneri, when he came on, he made a difference. He immediately sparked the attack, he sparked the creativity, and he's just a player that really knows how to make things happen on the pitch, which of course is exactly what Arsenal wants and needs. Obviously we're trying to get Eberechi Eze as well for that exact same purpose, but it's really good that we've got a player so young in Ethan Nwaneri who knows how to put passes together, knows how to link up play, knows how to make things happen. And of course, that's absolutely fantastic to see. There were some talks from, I think it was, there was a bit of disagreement between Romano and Ornstein about whether Ethan Nwaneri was demanding more game time or not. Ornstein doesn't seem to believe there were any issues with that between Nwaneri and Arsenal, whereas Romano seems to believe that there were some issues. It doesn't really seem like there were any issues though, because Ethan Nwaneri happily signed his contract. Romano even made it clear that Nwaneri gave full priority to Arsenal in spite of other clubs being interested. I think, obviously, as I already said, Chelsea was interested, and to be fair, I think so were Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund apparently offered him the quote-unquote Bellingham route, but Ethan Nwaneri declined both of them and stayed at Arsenal, which of course is absolutely fantastic, really good to see. In my opinion, I doubt there were any issues with his game time, because to be fair, he did come off, he did make a total of 37 appearances, which is really good. He was also one of the most utilized 18-year-olds in Europe. I'm pretty sure he was among the top minutes for an 18-year-old in Europe, so there were absolutely no problem with his minutes. He clearly is more than happy with his minutes and will of course continue to get them in the upcoming season, obviously as very much a backup to Martin Odegaard, of course, but no doubt about it, in the of course in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, he'll get plenty of minutes, and in my opinion he'll definitely be getting some good minutes in the Champions League and Premier League as well, especially in some of those easier fixtures, and to be fair, even in those tougher fixtures, or maybe he comes off and makes a cameo off the bench. But very good player, only 18 years old, still so young. Seriously, the sky's still the limit for him. He's so young, and obviously he's got his best friend Miles Lewis-Skelly at Arsenal, who also recently extended, so it's really cool that we get to see those two continuing. And my goodness, Hayland has just been so good recently. I mean, Hayland is just unbelievable. Bukayo Saka, Reece Nelson, Emile Smith-Rowe, Max Dowman, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Ethan Nwaneri, Salmon Nichols, etc. It's just an absolute talent factory right now, and of course the fact that these players are committing their long-term futures to Arsenal is fantastic. And of course you get the occasional player who decides to leave, such as Chido Obi Martin, Aiden, Heaven, etc. But for the most part, we're really doing a good job at retaining our talent, and that is of course evident in both Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri, which both signed extensions. So obviously it's really good. I mean, he's just such a great player. He's got such a good skill set, really good work rate as well. That's one thing about Ethan Nwaneri. Never stops running, never stops chasing every single ball, and is always looking to make things happen, no matter how, how far beyond the game is. We could be 1 or 2 goals down and with like 5 minutes to go. He's still running, he's still running his lungs out. He's still trying to make things happen. He's still putting balls across, and that's exactly the sort of determination that we need on the pitch. And seeing someone like Ethan Nwaneri there is just so good, and it really shows that we're able to retain our talent, which of course is absolutely fantastic. So as I said before, it's very clear that Arsenal very much view him as an attacking 8 and will therefore continue to develop him in the attacking 8 position. It's still nice to know that we've got some wing cover from him if we need it, but it's very clear that he very much is viewed as an attacking 8, and a very promising one at that. As I said, Martin Odegaard will of course continue to start. Martin Odegaard's the captain and obviously a solid player, but Ethan Nwaneri, I think it's just such a good person to learn from. Obviously Martin Odegaard, a fantastic role model, the captain of the team, so for Ethan Nwaneri to be nurtured by him and continue to learn from him in that attacking 8 position, I just think is a fantastic position for him to be in. And I think that attacking 8 is just going to be so good. Obviously, aside from Martin Odegaard and Ethan Nwaneri, we of course have Declan Rice, which is just ridiculously good in that position. Mikel Merino, who we saw in the friendlies, is very solid in that position, so certainly very much an option as well. So it's just great to see, really good to see all the options that we've got in the attacking 8 position. And of course Ethan Nwaneri is certainly one of the best that we've got, and it's going to be good to see him continuing to rotate with Martin Odegaard and of course learn from Martin Odegaard. Obviously right now he is an understudy to him, but you can imagine that in the years to come he's going to become the starter in that attacking 8 position, and he's just in very good company. So very happy, absolutely over the moon to see Ethan Nwaneri sign his contract extension, and that means that we've got another Hale End talent that has decided to stay with the club after graduating, which is really good to see. As I said before, we obviously have the occasional ones that do decide to move on, such as Chido, Obi Martin and Aiden Heaven. However, for the most part we have managed to retain Hale End talents, and Ethan Nwaneri joins that list, which is absolutely brilliant to see, and I'm just so happy. So fantastic news for Arsenal fans. Our third contract extension of the window, Gabriel, Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri have all put pen to paper and have all signed long-term contract extensions. Hopefully both Bukayo Saka and William Saliba are soon to follow. William Saliba sounds like it's quite positive, and it sounds like things are definitely progressing, and obviously there hasn't been much said about Bukayo Saka yet, but hopefully we can tie down both Bukayo Saka and William Saliba. But obviously for it to be at the end of July and we've already tied down 3 separate players, and 3 very important ones of that, is really great stuff. So very happy, delighted about that, and it's just great to see. So yeah, Ethan Nwaneri stays at Arsenal, made in Hale End, and continues at Arsenal alongside Miles Lewis-Skelly. So really nice to see that, and it's just great to see. I think he's a brilliant player, really good attacking midfielder, and to be fair, if we ever need him on the wing, we can certainly play him there as well. In my opinion, he already proved that he's very solid, but ultimately he's an attacking 8. That's what he's always played as, and that's very clearly what he prefers, and that's exactly what Arsenal have every intention of giving him. So please let me know down below what you think of Ethan Nwaneri. Are you happy? Do you want to see him really being a consistent starter next season, or do you want to see him continuing to be slowly introduced into the starting 11 and kind of gradually eased in, or do you feel that he's just at such a good level that you want to be making him more of a consistent starter? I'd really love to hear from you guys on that, but I've really liked what I've seen from him in pre-season. Of course, he's now got a new shirt number, I forgot to mention that. So he was number 53 before, but he is now number 22, and to be fair, it suits him so well, that number 22 shirt, and obviously he's looked really good with it in pre-season, so hopefully that number 22 will continue to bring him luck in the upcoming season. But anyway, I don't want to ramble on too much longer. I feel like I've said everything I want to say. So all in all, he will continue as an attacking number 8 underneath Martin Odegaard. He wears the number 22 and of course has committed several years of his career, his long-term future, to Arsenal. He declined both Chelsea and Borussia Dortmund in favour of continuing with Arsenal, which is great to see. And of course he'll continue alongside all of his teammates. Obviously Bukayo Saka is a really good role model, and of course Miles Lewis-Skelly as his best friend. So absolutely fantastic, great to see him. So anyway, I'm going to go on and wrap this podcast up here. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please let me know down below what you think of Ethan Nwaneri and his contract extension. Obviously me personally, I'm of course absolutely over the moon. I'm a massive Ethan Nwaneri fan. He's a fantastic player, and it's so good to see him continuing. But please let me know down below what you guys think of Ethan Nwaneri, and to be fair, do you prefer him in the attacking 8, or do you prefer him to carry on in the wing, the right wing? Please let me know. I'd be very interested to see what you guys have. Me personally, I do prefer him in the attacking 8 position, because that's clearly where he prefers playing, and he's also just so good in that attacking hit and making things happen. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great day. Please let me know down below what you think of Ethan Nwaneri, and I'll catch you guys at another podcast soon. Bye bye.